Guys, happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. As you can see, I just got back from a hike, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm beating up this subject. I know I've already done a few videos on it, but the more I think about it, I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm doing this, why I've made a few videos, is because it frightens me. It does. I'll tell you why in a second. Well, this is why B. In the past weeks, even amongst my family members, Trump supporters, I've seen them say outright, "Oh, goddamn China!" And I see them blaming China. Trump should have cut off the travel to China. Goddamn China's fault. And I've heard them at least a dozen times blaming China. Okay, now I think Mike Pompeo coming on TV and saying this stuff about a lab, not a biological weapon, mind you, but they were just trying to show off. That's the story, and I'm going to get into that in a second. That's what this video is going to be about. I want to analyze what we know. I want to analyze Mike Pompeo's words and see if they ring true. All right, I think this will take off like a match on gasoline with Trump supporters. I do. The loss of jobs, the economics, the danger of King Trump losing his power. Trump supporters, I really believe that now that Mike Pompeo came on TV and said this, I believe that this is going to explode in the coming days and weeks. And that's why I'm making these videos right now. Hey, I could be wrong, and I pray I am wrong. All right. Mike Pompeo comes on TV, high-level Trump administration. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Yesterday alone, 2,400 people died in America yesterday. That's 100 people every hour across America died yesterday, okay? Middle of a nationwide pandemic. Pompeo, I believe, what's he, the Secretary of Defense or Secretary of State? Forgive me for not knowing that right now. Comes on TV. What does he say? Okay, high-level Trump administration. He doesn't say anything about vaccines, doesn't say anything about the virus, about health, about money, about jobs, about any of that, about consoling the people that have lost people, any of that. No. He talks about this new information of where this virus came from. And subsequently, Trump has been receiving a lot of heat lately, right? Picture this, that there's been a couple videos out that I love that show the timeline with Trump saying it's a hoax and then showing the rise of the deaths. I think it's put out by the Democratic Party, but it's an excellent little commercial, little short 30-second clip. And of course, it's been put out that Trump hates this commercial. He's feeling all this heat, right? The governors are taking, he feels like he's losing power. The governors are taking their own steps, and I'm going to make another video on that because he's still trying to jump into the middle of that with the governors. All right? So he sees these videos, and he has to do something about it. He blames the WHO, cuts funding. He catches a lot of flack for that. It's the middle of a pandemic, and he's cutting funding to the World Health Organization. Bad move. He knows it. Everybody tells him. Got to find a scapegoat. I got to get the heat off, Win at any cost. Donald Trump. And he sees his numbers are going down now. Initially, after something like this, regardless of what a clusterfuck a leader is, they get a lot of support in times like this. But then it goes away quickly, which it's doing right now. Win at any cost. That's what Trump is doing. Where does he go next? Who to blame next? China. His supporters already distrust and hate China. Their nationalistic attitude, all the people that have died, all the jobs that have been lost, all the pain to this country, Trump supporters and their retribution, their vindictiveness, this is a gasoline fire, and Mike Pompeo threw the match on it yesterday. And that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm making these videos. All right, let's just look at what Mike Pompeo said. He said there was a lab in the Wuhan province. Okay, now if they do, and they probably will come up with pictures, eventually I wouldn't be surprised if they do a missile hit on this lab. Now think about it. In the last 2 or 3 months, what would the Chinese government have done? Probably built some kind of headquarters where they could see where patient zero was. I could see the Trump administration then turning that into, well, that's the weapons laboratory right there. We have pictures. I could see that happening already. All right. Pompeo says, he says, a worker, they have information from several sources that a worker got bit in the lab by a bat, traveled out amongst the people in Wuhan province, and that's what started it. Okay. How did this information come about? Let's look at this. This is called top secret information, if what he's saying is true. All right. Now think about this. Would Mike Pompeo, is he the defense secretary or whatever? If you have, okay, we've all watched the movies, but it's true. If you have agents, you have sources in a government if this is true and the Chinese government ever found out, they would kill these people that ratted, right? Mike Pompeo would never go on TV and say what he knew about sources and about the scientists, and that's top secret information. By him doing that, he's jeopardizing any future top secret information, okay? No. Nobody worth their salt in the defense game would ever jeopardize future information by going on TV and saying, well, this is what secret sources told us. Come on, man. That's spying 101, man. You know, it's not going to happen. How do we know? How does anybody know about this scientist got bit by a bat in a lab? Are the Chinese, if that did happen, are they going to come out and tell the nation, the world that? No, they're not. You know, let's get to this part about why the Chinese government supposedly had this lab, because they wanted to kind of show that they were, that they could do this, that they were on the same level. Does that even sound like the Chinese people? The Chinese people have been around, the culture has been around for thousands of years, and it's a very closed society. I don't think they really give much of a shit what anybody thinks. They keep to themselves. Does that sound at all like what you would think the Chinese government would want to prove? Why they would waste their time, their resources, to just to show that they could do this, that they could handle a virus? So what did they do? Did they invent this virus with the idea of then stopping it and then going to the world and saying, look what we did. We invented a virus and then we stopped it. Look at us. No, that's ridiculous. They would get nothing but scorn. Now, would they invent the virus and then secretly put it out and then stop it and say, woo, look, we're heroes. We stopped it. Highly doubtful. They're still going to catch flack for this virus starting in their country. Okay, if a government is going to start a virus anywhere, it's not going to be in their own country. And they're going to be damn sure that they could stop it. It would not, in any way, shape, or form, what Pompeo is claiming, the motivation of the Chinese government, the Chinese scientists for doing this, it does not make a bit of sense. Doesn't make a bit of sense. But if you think about this, Trump's mindset about proving himself, about being the best, his braggadocious attitude, man, it sure as fuck sounds like Donald Trump. Sure as fuck sounds like something Donald Trump would do. Look what I could do, you know? I could fuck with this virus and stop it. I am all powerful. I'm like God. Sounds like something a stupid, ignorant, insecure man would do. Doesn't sound like something, a culture that's very closed, keeps themselves, and they like it that way. The Chinese culture does not sound like what they would do. And plus, where's the payout, the benefit? Like I said in the other video, human beings are only motivated by things that benefit them: money, power, sex. Would this provide any of those? No. More than likely, if the Chinese government did do this to show that they're proficient with viruses, it would bring nothing but scorn, no matter how it turned out. You don't fuck with viruses. If they invented a vaccine, sure, but there's other ways to look good amongst the international community than inventing a virus and then possibly losing control of it. Nobody in their right mind would do that. if it was a biological weapon, I think it would have had a lot more security. I just don't, I just see this as a lie. It's a lie. And then why? For months, we were told about the wet markets. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure there's been other viruses that have started. They say that that is a veritable incubator. That situation with live animals, wild animals coming in a unsecured marketplace with no safety protocols, that is an incubator for these kind of viruses, especially jumping between species. It is an incubator, and it makes perfect sense. Even the DNA sequencing, I don't know a lot about that, but from what I remember, that's how they identified this in the first place. It doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense that Donald Trump would use this. Think about a bully on a playground, okay? Typical bully. He messes up, though. He gets in trouble. He causes the entire playground to lose their recesses for a week. Everybody on the entire playground, you got to go stay inside. Sound familiar? Got to go stay inside. You know, you got everybody in trouble. Everybody's pissed at this bully, man. What's that bully going to do? Is he going to accept responsibility? No. He's going to look for a scapegoat. He's going to say, look, it was that guy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was him. Any weak, that kind of mentality would not accept. We know Donald Trump doesn't accept responsibility, never has, never will. He would blame somebody else, especially with an election coming up. Win at any cost, even if it means war, even if it means the American people's health and jobs. Win at any cost. His ego, his legacy cannot be shit on. Win at any cost. Makes perfect sense. So he blames that other person on the playground, right? Now the followers, Trump supporters, would immediately circle like sharks. Yeah, it's his fault. If Bully Billy says it's him, it's him. But Trump doesn't want this guy beat up yet because he might need him in the future. The bully doesn't want this guy beat up yet. He might need him in the future. You're going pretty far there. So he just says, he just gets it instigated, but he saves that last match for the big bonfire right for the end. My analogy here is, I think the reason Pompeo said that it wasn't a biological weapon, he's saving that. He's saving that for how the Chinese government responds. And if necessary, he's going to throw that last match in and say, yeah, we got evidence. It was a biological weapon, and bam, the whole fucking thing blows up. Trump supporters, everybody's so caught up in, oh my God, we were virtually attacked by China, by this chemical, this biological warfare. It's killed thousands of Americans. Retribution. Look at our jobs. America was almost brought to ruin. We need Donald Trump to protect us and get revenge. Can you see why I'm making these videos? I believe this, and this is not something I typically do. You guys know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's not my MO. But like I've told you guys, and I made other videos, I really feel like I feel in my heart that the virus is just the beginning. That this year and the following year could get a fucking lot worse. Win at any cost. Donald Trump. Think about it.